All right, we're going to do a quick video on our Earth Materials Lab. And by Earth Materials, we mean rocks and sediment. And this is all the stuff that we're going to find on the coast, the floor of the ocean, the actual materials that make the basin that the oceans sit in. Okay, so I would recommend for this lab having done the reading and watching the lectures first. A lot of the information you'll need to complete it will be in your textbook and in those lectures. And read over this background section that I put together. It gives you some clues on how to complete the lab. Okay, part one, rock and sediment ID. This is meant to simulate being in the class, actually handling the rocks and sediment. Um, and so essentially what you're going to do in part one is complete this table. And so it starts with a description of either a rock or sediment, and we have 10 different earth materials here. And then you are going to fill out the rest of the chart. So we have the descriptions of what each column needs to be filled out with up at the top. And for more information on each of these, you refer back to this beginning part. So let's look over here. The first thing you're going to fill out is the earth material name. And so based on the description, you are going to fill out the earth material name in that column. The second part, you are going to fill the column with the letter that matches the appropriate photo of that earth material. And so if you look at the descriptions and you look at the photos, a lot of these will have, I guess you call them clues that lead you to which type of earth material this is. So look for things like shape and size. So you'll notice that a lot of these have a scale or a ruler, something indicating that the size of that earth material. So pay attention to that. Okay, your next column is going to be rock or sediment type. And so for this, you're going to refer back to the intro and you're going to fill that out with one of these 7 different categories of either rocks or the different types of sediments. Let's see. Where in the ocean or on the crust is this material found? So this is going to fall back to the lecture. And you are or lecture and reading, and you are going to go back and say, okay, this is the part of the ocean basin where this is typically found. And then we're going to look at the Pacific Northwest specifically, and we are going to look at our map of the Pacific or the ocean basin off of Oregon. So that's this map again. And so you're going to be kind of searching through these descriptions, and you are going to find some places where those sediments that you identified in this chart, where they appear on that Pacific Northwest map. And note in this number 2, there are 2 places where you will find this, and actually probably more, but I want one from the ocean and one that is on the continent. Okay, so once you're done with your chart, you're going to have some follow-up questions. And then on part 2, you are again going to be looking at the map of the ocean floor off Oregon, but this time you're going to be looking specifically at sediment thickness. And in this first section of part 2, you're going to be looking specifically at thickness. So remember that for this, we are going to be looking at the cross section, and that cross section appears at the bottom. So it's the same colors that appear on the map, but now we're looking at it from the side. And you see you have this orange material, and then you have some sediments that are deposited on top of that orange material. So this white and yellow, these are the sediments, and so focus on those for that question. And remember, this cross section is a side view of this line going across the map. Okay, and then you are going to watch a video from Western Washington University. Looks like I forgot to put the link in there, but I'll put that in by the time you are seeing this. And this is going to be looking at grain size. So are they large class of sediment or large grains of sediment like gravel, or small grains like silt or clay? Finally, in part 3, we are going to be looking at beach sand. A lot of us haven't given a lot of thought to what is actually making up those grains of sand, and it turns out, depending where you are, it's made of different materials. So here we have microscopic views of grains of sand from different places in the world. And so your job is going to be filling out this table. And so you see that the sample numbers or sample letters are here. And you are going to identify what materials are present in these different sand samples based on the description here. And these are the actual materials. And then along with the name of the materials, but there is some clues about where this sand was collected from. It turns out that the materials that are in the sand reflect something about where it came from. And so from here, you are going to fill out your last column with the location where the sample was collected. And to do that, you are going to use the KMZ file that is available on D2L or Canvas, depending which school you're at. And you are going to, once you have it loaded up into Google Earth, you're going to see it appear over here on the left. And when you double click on each of these 4 locations, it brings you to a different spot in the world. And you are going to, based on the location, based on things like the color, based on the environment, you are going to match those sand samples to different places around the world. I will make a separate video on loading these KMZ files up onto Google Earth. Okay, so as always, reach out to me with any questions, and good luck.